Keith here for Am I Rich? And yes, we're doing the same type of video again, the most confusing graph you can imagine. It is 3 stocks they watch for April. And this is a show that basically highlights YouTubers' picks from the previous year. So it's April 2019 coming up, and these are the picks from their channels for April 2018 and showing how well they did relative to other YouTubers, just to get a sense. I know there's a segment of the population who likes to invest just in what YouTubers say, so I thought this might be an interesting type of video to give a sense of how YouTubers stack up against each other. Now, you know, a little bit of a disclaimer. These are stocks they're usually watching. They may be saying they're buying, some might be saying they're watching, so it varies. Another thing is you should always just research your own stocks before buying. You shouldn't just blindly follow a YouTuber's advice, but if you like what their picks are and you find that they are safe investments for your choice, then yeah, okay, why not? So that's why I'm doing this video. You know, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just, you know, I'm a physicist, so I'm just doing this for fun. But yeah, let's get right into it. So what we do is, now I think I picked 6 financial YouTubers this time around. First off, I wanted to pick probably one of the most popular financial kind of value investor YouTubers, and that's Financial Education. And that Jeremy's channel, he's really big, he's very entertaining, and sometimes, you know, in January I think he did very well in these picks. But anyway, so I thought I'd just have to include him. Next, March's big winner, maybe, I don't know, from the YouTube three stocks video was actually it was Sven Carlin from Invest with Sven Carlin PhD. He doesn't do these type of 3 stocks very often, or he doesn't even do stock picks for a certain month specifically very often. So the next runner-up was Nate O'Brien, which did really well as well last month. But so Nate from Nate O'Brien. Then we have all newcomers to the rest of them, and we have the next big rush, and her channel is all about gold investment, I believe, or maybe precious metals, that kind of stuff. And then we have Cyberworld 7. Cyberworld 7 Stock Market Millionaire. He's got a few interesting kind of videos that he always pops out. Then we have JKR. He has really basic type videos, but I think he might be under the radar for how well he does for investing, so I thought I'd highlight him. And then we have Positive Investing, another YouTuber. He does lots of really good videos, and as a bonus, I've not only included his 3 stocks to buy, but there'll also be another line there for his 3 stocks to sell, just as a little bonus. But yeah, and if you're wondering, are there any other YouTubers that did this last April? Yes, there are many. And why aren't they included on this list? Well, one, I don't want the graph to get too confusing. It's already super confusing as is. And the other thing is, well, you know, there might be a reason they're not on there, and I don't want to like embarrass people unnecessarily. So yeah, that said, without further ado, so the way it's set up, I've broken it down into different time ranges, how well their stock picks did, you know, after 1 week, and then after a month, and et cetera, on to just around now, which is about a year from when they did their picks. And the first week would start like if they bought these stocks right at the beginning of April, because, you know, they're April 2018 picks. So here we go. So yeah, the first month, what do we have? Well, right off the bat, the top leader was the next big rush. So she picked Mexican Gold Corporation, and she felt like this gold corporation had a lot to do for, or was very exciting at this point in time last year. And so yeah, in the first week it went up 10.7%. which is pretty good. 10.7% in a week. And if you can match that all the time, you're going to do great. So yeah, kudos to that. Then after that, we actually had positive investings. So this little dashed dotted line that's going positive investings, sell, 3 stocks to sell. So his 3 stocks to sell were actually the next highest one at 3.1% for in a week. But that's not too surprising. I mean, he's trying to sell off these stocks, so he's worried that they're gonna like tank. So fair enough. They could still go up, in a week, and then later on change. So then we had like Nate, followed by Jeremy from Financial Education, and then JKR, followed by Positive Investing's 3 stocks to buy, and at the bottom was Cyberworld 7. So yeah, so there's just 1 week. A lot can happen in a week. It's not that significant, but I have noticed in the past that Financial Education, usually within a week or a month, he's got these kind of boosts, or at least very positive results from his picks. So I know he was actually very hesitant about these ones. I think this time he was saying they're just watches. He thought they might all do bad, but anyways, at 2.5%, still positive, not that bad, if you're just looking at 1 week. So then we go to 1 month, and now like 1 month, this is, even though these picks are often for a more long-term investing, 1 month, I mean, that's what they're saying, April. So, this is another important time milestone, because if April is the month they're looking at, yeah, then, okay, let's see which ones did the best in April. So we move this over, and yes, I know what you're thinking. My props have been improved. I've added another sheet of paper. So yes, this is, more elaborate than the greeting cards you can buy in Laos. But anyways, so after 1 month, we had the next big rush. Now, Mexican Gold Core, her pick was at 35.7% after a month. That was the number 1, and that's a really good return over a year or two. So to have that over a month, she got it really spot on for that month. The next one, you had Positive Investing. His actual 3 picks to buy shot up to second place with 7.1%, and his 3 stocks to sell went down to 5. They were still up, but 5.5%. So they were down relative to the group. Everybody else kind of went up pretty good. The only one that was negative was Cyberworld 7. So yeah, so that's interesting. I think it's good for positive investing. You sold that maybe. Yeah, the next big milestone is 3 months. The reason this is a big milestone is because that's usually a quarter, and usually most companies report quarterly. So if they're reporting financials every 3 months, then 3 months from your pick time, you'd have the same amount of time after they announce their earnings, typically, to kind of assess how the company did. So and see if you change. So if you bought into a company, usually you wouldn't have a good reason to sell out unless it was just a really risky bet until you saw the next financials in 3 months. So what do we have at 3 months? So at 3 months, bam, big change. We had JKR investing go up to 16.5%. Now, JKR, his 3 picks were Boeing, ANET, and Netflix. So he did really well. 16.5%, not bad at all. I mean, it wasn't beating the Mexican Gold Core, but if you look at Mexican Gold Core, it went down to like the 3rd bottom one at 7.1%. So gold stocks, usually this is the case, they're very risky. So unless you know how to time them or really have some really good insight on them, it's not surprising that they can drop. So yeah, but after the first quarter, there you go, JKR, and followed by that we have Positive Investing still up there, pretty close, 16.3, kind of neck and neck. So I thought that was interesting. And then the next one we kind of go with half year, just to kind of give a sense of where things are going. And here we are, we have a big change again. All the way up from the bottom from 1 month was Cyberworld 7. Now he's up there with 20.1, and his picks were Liquor Depot in Canada, HEMP, and VFF, which is Village Farms International, a company that makes like tomatoes, and I think they got into the marijuana business. They're basically from BC and they sell stuff into the United States. So yeah, very interesting. And then JKR went down a little notch to 19%. So did Positive Investing. And then if you look, Positive Investing, his sell, 3 stocks of sell actually were jumping back up. And at the very bottom, we had Mexican Gold Core, the pick from the next big rush, minus 25%. This, you know, for anybody who's a new investor or just likes to follow the crowd, this is a warning about gold stocks. They can do this, so yeah, they're not necessarily the great long-term investments. And then finally, we remove that and bam, the results. So yeah, number one after about a year, so we're just shy of when April is starting when we're doing this video, but pretty close to when they actually released their, you know, 3 stocks to buy or 3 stocks to watch. So the number one person was Cyberworld 7 Stock Market Millionaire. Now his stocks are currently sitting at 79.3% for a return, which is amazing. And so the number one stock is also his stock. He actually, the way he picks is a little bit risky because 2 of his stocks, Liquor Depot and HEMP, they're both like minus 45 and minus 33%. So what really pushed him to the top was his one pick, Village Farms International. And VFF, it's up 316% to date from the beginning of April last year. So just that kind of shows you, maybe that might show you what Cyberworld 7 kind of invests in. Like he likes maybe to go shoot for the moon kind of thing, pick a stock that's got really good potential but also might be very risky. So if you had invested in just one of his stocks, you know, you had a 1 in 3 chance of losing money, or 2 in 3 chance of losing money, and a 1 in 3 chance of maybe doing really great. So yeah, but he was the top investor. Now after that, the funny thing is, the Positive Investing, his 3 stocks to sell, I mean, I don't know if he bought back into them afterward, but his 3 stocks to sell after they dropped, or after they weren't as good, went up to 39.8% to date. I think he had OLED, so OLED, which is like a, I don't remember what the company's called, a liquid crystal display, and also Netflix and Red Hat. So those companies he thought he was going to sell. I don't know if he did, but unfortunately for him, they did really well. So yeah, and they were I think they were all positive. Yeah, they all had positive returns throughout the year. So like 59%, 34%, 25% or something like that. So all good stock picks. So probably the safest stock picks. So if you look at Positive Investing, if he says he's going to sell something, you know, maybe just maybe take a second look at his stocks and see if it's really worth selling or not. Other than that, we had JKR finishing off in 3rd. Nate O'Brien, still a decent return. He likes to pick safe stocks, and 13.2%, not too shabby. Jeremy, still 9% to date, so really good. I think his picks were WYNN Resorts, Netflix, and SBUX. Oh yeah, and then Nate O'Brien, the funny thing is he picked APD, which is like an air producing company, liquid air or something, and then SBUX and Prudential Finances, I think, or anyways. But he didn't want to do that last Prudential one. He wanted to pick ExxonMobil, but he kind of thought oil wasn't where it's at. But if he had picked that, he would have went from 13.2% to 19.2% for a return. So it would have been a little bit better if he did stick with ExxonMobil. And then finally, the ones that weren't as good. Unfortunately, Positive Investing had some unfortunate picks, and he was down to minus 2.2%. He was didn't do as well with those picks, and the worst one was Mexican Gold Core at minus 50%. So yeah, I just thought I'd do this, let you know how things went for April 2018 up till now. And yeah, as far as I go, I'm just trying to do these videos to improve my speaking ability and just for fun. I don't mean any harm to any of these YouTubers, they're all really great. But feel free to let me know if you like this kind of video, if you know any YouTubers you'd like to be added to this kind of thing, or if you think you know somebody who did better. I'd love to know. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you in the next video.